Hannah Ritchie, Not the End of the World, How We Can Be the First Generation to Build a Sustainable Planet. Prepare to embark on a journey of optimistic change with Hannah Ritchie's Not the End of the World, How We Can Be the First Generation to Build a Sustainable Planet. This summary distills the transformative strategies to combat climate change into actionable insights. Discover how shifting to renewable energy, revolutionizing transport systems, and innovating sustainable food practices can drive a greener future. Ritchie reveals the untapped power of data to challenge pessimistic narratives and inspire a mindset of urgent optimism. By spotlighting extraordinary advancements in global development, she dismantles climate doom and sets a hopeful vision for a sustainable 2050. Join the exploration of how each sector, energy, transport, materials, and food, can pivot towards sustainability, proving that the dream of a utopian future is within reach if we act with determination and hope.
Urgent optimism. The daunting specter of climate anxiety can often feel overwhelming, especially when faced with a seemingly relentless stream of ecological downturns. The experience is vivid for many, lecture after lecture, only underscoring the narrative of inevitable decline. Yet, transformative insight emerges when we shift focus to the broader picture, a perspective vividly illuminated by the impactful work of Hans Rosling. His data-driven revelations challenge prevailing assumptions about global progress, revealing a world where advances are not only possible but abundantly evident. Consider a historical landscape where clean water was a rare privilege, child mortality was alarmingly high, and living beyond 40 was exceptional. Contrast this with today's world. Child mortality has plummeted by 90% in just a century, electricity is nearly universal, and once unachievable extreme poverty levels have dramatically fallen from over 75% in 1820 to under 10% today. In an unprecedented shift, we now produce enough food to feed everyone on the planet. Change of this magnitude is not a far-off dream but a tangible reality unfolding in our lifetime. However, the daily deluge of negative news can obscure this progress. A broad, data-informed view reveals undeniable strides, particularly in renewable energy. Wind and solar power, once dismissed as too costly, now lead the charge as the cheapest new electricity sources in major markets. Embracing this progress necessitates a new visionary approach, urgent optimism. Doom-laden narratives tend to stifle action, while fostering grounded optimism inspires actionable hope. By recognizing and building on successes while addressing remaining challenges, we can continue to transform our world for the better, igniting change through informed, pragmatic optimism. Building a greener future. Picture stepping into the year 2050, where sleek electric cars glide silently down solar panel streets. Smog no longer chokes the air, instead, cyclists and trams fill the city with vibrant life. Cement walls boast zero-carbon innovations, while computers draw power from offshore wind farms. A delicious plant-based burger becomes the norm for lunch, and friends travel swiftly across the country on high-speed, hydrogen-powered trains. This isn't a mere utopia, it's a feasible future if we confront climate change now. The core challenge lies in transforming the systems that feed greenhouse gas emissions, energy, transport, materials, and food. Energy reform starts with leaving behind coal, oil, and gas in favor of renewable sources such as solar, wind, and nuclear. Electrifying everything, vehicles, heating systems, industries, and powering them with clean sources is paramount. Globally, this shift is underway. The United Kingdom once sourced nearly two-thirds of its electricity from coal, a figure now below 2%, with a complete coal phase-out expected by 2025. Denmark has made similar strides, dramatically reducing its reliance on coal. In South America, countries like Chile and Uruguay have transformed their electricity systems, favoring solar and wind power, while lower-income nations, India and those in sub-Saharan Africa, follow suit. This progress is anchored by a dramatic drop in renewable energy costs. Since 2009, solar power expenses plummeted by 89%, and onshore wind by 70%. Additionally, battery prices have decreased by 98%, removing former financial hurdles. Low-carbon energy is land-efficient. Nuclear requires minimal land compared to coal, and wind and solar farms can double as grazing lands. Urban rooftops offer further opportunities for solar power generation. In transportation, electric vehicles, EVs, are replacing traditional cars, offering an economical and eco-friendly option. EV sales jumped from 2% to 14% of global car sales within just 3 years. Norway leads in this revolution with nearly 9 out of 10 new car sales being electric. Urban planners are enhancing public transit systems and reshaping cities to prioritize pedestrians, cyclists, and mass transit over private cars, creating cleaner urban environments. Ride-sharing and efficient public transit systems mitigate emissions from rising personal vehicle ownership. While decarbonizing long-distance freight trucking and aviation presents challenges due to the sheer size and weight of these vehicles, innovation continues. Current limitations in battery technology mean these vehicles are still largely powered by traditional fuels. Yet, hydrogen fuel cells powered by renewable electricity represent a hopeful avenue. As these technologies evolve, setting higher efficiency standards for conventional engines will curb emissions temporarily. However, energy and transportation are only part of the puzzle. Our material production and food systems require transformation too, pointing toward sustainable innovations and a greater reliance on plant-based diets. Confronting climate change demands a comprehensive reimagining of our world, harnessing the tools and technologies we have today to build a cleaner, more sustainable tomorrow. In the pursuit of this future, every action counts, setting us on a path to preserving the delicate balance of our planet. Building green solutions. Tackling climate emissions requires us to address the significant contribution of materials like concrete, steel, aluminum, and plastics. These materials are the bedrock of modern infrastructure but are responsible for about 15% of industrial CO2 emissions globally. Concrete stands out, producing 5% of these emissions on its own. The sheer volume required, especially in fast-growing nations like China, poses a formidable challenge to replacing traditional materials with sustainable alternatives. During a brief 2-year period, China used more cement than the US did throughout the entire 20th century. This highlights the difficulties of scaling up cost-effective, eco-friendly options like timber or bamboo globally. Key barriers arise from the inherent CO2 release during the chemical reactions in the production of cement and steel. For instance, manufacturing cement involves heating limestone, which releases CO2, while steel production oxidizes impurities, also releasing CO2. Although some process efficiencies can be achieved, fully decarbonizing these industries may necessitate carbon capture and storage, CCS. This technique involves trapping CO2 during production and storing it underground or reintegrating it into building materials, effectively preventing its atmospheric release. Sustainable food revolution. Picture a future where our dinner tables are adorned with vibrant vegetables and innovative meat alternatives, sparking with the same delightful flavors that once came from traditional meats. This vision isn't just a hopeful dream, it's becoming a necessary reality as we confront the soaring environmental costs of our current food system. Meat and dairy alone contribute around 18 to 20% of global emissions, which presents an immense opportunity to rethink how we produce and consume food. Industrialized meat production drains resources, clearing vast tracts of land, driving deforestation, and generating significant methane and nitrogen emissions. Livestock such as cows and sheep are especially problematic because of their digestion process, leading to exorbitant climate costs. For instance, producing 100 grams of beef protein releases an astounding 50 kilograms of CO2, whereas lamb does even more damage, contributing a staggering 400 kilograms. These figures stand in stark contrast to plant-based proteins like peas, which emit less than a kilogram of CO2 for the same protein yield. Surprisingly, many wealthier populations consume nearly double the recommended daily protein, primarily sourced from animal products, creating both health and environmental strains. As emerging economies like China and African nations urbanize, shifting dietary habits away from excessive meat consumption is crucial. Innovative agricultural practices can mitigate some impacts, but the most significant change lies in reducing lamb and beef consumption. Fortunately, the market is responding with a new generation of meat substitutes. From lupin beans to mycoprotein mince, the landscape of alternatives is expanding dramatically. Companies like Impossible Foods and Beyond Meat engineer plant-based burgers and sausages that replicate the meat experience so well that even committed carnivores can't tell them apart in blind tests, all while slashing emissions by up to 96% compared to beef. If widely embraced, these substitutes could revolutionize the demand for traditional meat, making it more sustainable and sparing land for nature's reclamation. Imagine a world where eating animal products becomes an occasional luxury, integrated into a diet rich in diverse plant-based foods. Success hinges on making these alternatives as delicious, affordable, and accessible as their meaty counterparts. Should they meet these challenges, our entire food system stands to transform. Amid growing awareness, some narratives veer into unfounded alarmism, with claims that global agriculture will grind to a halt due to soil degradation within a few decades. These dramatic predictions of only 60 harvests left are thoroughly debunked as myths. The author traces these alarming statements back to unsourced remarks and misinterpreted studies, finding no scientific backing. In reality, soils vary widely across the globe. While some are indeed degrading, others are stable or improving. Soil degradation is a serious issue, but it unfolds unevenly over time, rather than causing a universal agricultural collapse. In dispelling these fears, we can focus on genuine challenges and workable solutions. Envisioning a thriving 2060, humanity has embraced sustainable agricultural practices, with fertile fields yielding abundant crops, enriched by climate-resilient supercrops. This transformation not only feeds a world of 10 billion souls but also restores wildlife as forests reclaim land once used for inefficient farming. Food waste, a significant concern, has been halved through smart supply chains and increased public awareness. To achieve this, a concerted effort across sectors is essential, fostering a profound relationship with the land that nourishes us. Our past ingenuity and resilience show that this future is within reach, standing as a testament to what collaborative, thoughtful action can achieve in shaping our planet's destiny for the better.
And not the end of the world, Hannah Ritchie crafts a compelling narrative of hope anchored in reality. She demonstrates that societal transformations are not mere aspirations, but ongoing realities. From the plummeting costs of renewable energy to the burgeoning market of plant-based foods, Ritchie outlines how targeted actions in energy, transport, materials, and food systems can create a sustainable world. The trajectory charted from historical data and current advancements proves humanity's capacity for profound change. By fostering a mindset of urgent optimism rather than succumbing to fear, we are encouraged to embrace innovation and action. This book reaffirms that a future defined by sleek technologies and diminished ecological footprints is not just possible, but probable, if we remain committed to constructive progress. Ultimately, Ritchie invites us to step confidently into the future, equipped with knowledge and hope to build a sustainable planet for generations to come.